My name is Glenn Adamson. I'm the guest curator for Groundwork 2025 at the Clark Art Institute. What we've done is to bring together 6 artists from all across the world, each of whom has a very profound connection to traditions of making, but has also reinvented those traditions for the 21st century. And what you're going to see in Groundwork 2025 is 6 artworks that are about making, about process, about the possibilities of material, how all these things can be brought together into an artistic expression of incredible power, each of which expresses a totally unique personal perspective on the idea of craft and really captures the possibilities of making in sculpture today.
Hace 2 años tuve la oportunidad de venir con Paloma, mi esposa. Estuvimos aquí en este bonito lugar. Estuve recorriendo el lugar en la tarde, observando, analizando este entorno. Y bueno, cuando regresamos a México, llegó o nació el concepto embrionario. La idea fue que una serpiente entre al agua y salga. Le llamamos cuate, que es el nombre que en náhuatl quiere decir serpiente o mellizo. El cuate serpentea con gracia y se sumerge en el agua y luego emerge hacia el cielo con un movimiento ondulante continuo. Yo pienso que de alguna manera mucho de la filosofía o los conceptos que tenemos de la arquitectura orgánica se reflejan en esta escultura. El hecho de que Cuatla en el idioma náhuatl quiera decir pues es un dios, esa relación de lo divino con la naturaleza, pues también entra dentro de este ambiente.
It was clear from the beginning that I would be working with marble. It was very important for me to have like all these different time spans and lifespans of the materials. And this idea of the negative space was also a way to put into relation the time that we as human beings spend on Earth, but also the traces that we leave behind. For the negative space of the body, we made a cast of my body in exactly the angle that is in the marble slab. With this plaster cast, I was able to use a pointing machine, and with that I could translate a negative space of the cast into the marble. In the beginning, I could cut out bigger pieces, obviously, using an angle grinder, and then afterwards I worked with a couturier, which is a pneumatic hammer. I think that tension that's there with the negative space and it wanting to somehow be filled by the body is something that I think is very important for this work. It has kind of like this timeless quality and this monumental quality, but at the same time it also has this daunting appearance. I do think that this project captures a moment, and it's a very specific moment. It's just one moment in time, but then it's manifested into the marble, which has this timeless quality. Maybe at some point it will collapse because of the force, we don't know. But then still you will always have this trace inside the slab.
グランドウォークについて考え始めたこの地面、それからこの周りの木、関係を持つ作品を作りたい。 私の制作のプロセスの中には何かを変形するとか壊すというプロセスが必ずあります。ですからまずその変化させるあるいは壊す対象としての何かを作る必要があります。そういうものを単位としてそれを数多く無数に積層させるあるいは連続させることによってより大きな立体を構成する。何か生まれることとそれが滅びること壊れていくことが常に、同時進行している。同じとは言えないかもしれないですけど、そこから、木から受け取ったものがこの作品に投影されていると思っています。私の作ったこの作品が自分自身にとってもずっとそのクエスチョンであり続けるということが希望です。
This work was made during the month of May, and actually, although it's not problematic for me whatsoever, and I kind of enjoy it in its own way actually, but it rained really heavily all the way through the month of May. The rain itself isn't problematic to the willow, if anything it might even be beneficial, but it did mean that the ground was really muddy. The willow just always seemed to fall into the mud somehow, and then you end up weaving with the mud, so some of the earth is actually integrated into the weave a little. I began with a very first connection to the tree, basically tied some willow around the tree in a way that doesn't harm the tree, but a nice loose starting point, and then began the first layer. While I've been making the willow on site and forming the weave, and the weave has got denser and denser, insects and life have moved into it already. It's a habitat for multiple things. And I really do like the idea that things are living inside it. The title, Gathering My Thoughts, refers to the way that the work would grow together and grow into the place and grow from the place and within the place.
The iconography is firstly inspired by the trees and the seeds of life, because in this cosmology, the beginning of everything is the seeds. And I think that was the first idea behind this body of artwork. The blue is one of the main color, and because there is also a lot of spirituality linked to that color, is the color of protection, is a celestial color, is very present in this Malian tradition from the early beginning of the birth of a human until the day passed away. And the spiral, you can say, is an endless cycle of nature. To represent this materiality of the standing tree, I needed to have this kind of rigid element. I think here we definitely see this contrast between the hardness of the cotton steel and the softness of the textile, and I think we can see is working very well together. And all this aspect of gathering
in one installation, those two materials who seems completely being positioned to each other are finally embracing and kissing each other very, very well. You know, nature is not only resources; is a global, living network, and humans are a tiny part of this macrocosm.
The way that we sort of create this sculpture is that we've taken the logs of a tree and we've split them in half, leaving a branch attached. And then we sort of, out of that half of a log, we painstakingly carve a board so that the board where normally in conventional lumber, there would be a knot. We leave the branch attached and just sculpt it to be as if it's merging out of the wood. And so it gives this sense that it's growing because it really is growing. It was integral to that board. Here in person, when you see the scale and it's quite large, the size of a whale or a really big tree, hopefully there's some connection to the environment, but thinking about the body in relationship to nature, and even to some degree thinking of a tree in the terms of a human, in terms of whether you're thinking about climate change or just the life cycle of the forest. In my overall practice or body of work, I'm interested in transforming familiar materials and to remake them in a way that's slightly different, slightly off, that hopefully can challenge someone's perspective of something that they already have a perceived conception of. It's also really exciting because it's this sort of long-term, indefinite installation that the piece will have the opportunity to be retaken by the forest. Plants will grow up in it. It will also sort of deteriorate to some degree, and I like that evolution.
One of the most satisfying things about making an exhibition in a natural environment is that you don't know what will happen. And as the seasons change, as the fall colors come out, as the snows come, each of these artworks is going to be transformed. So I know I'm looking forward to coming back again and again and seeing what these artworks become.